Oh, whoops, the mic. Give me a second. I'm just getting set up, and then we will get started. Get started late. All right, we're gonna do some game-like jam. I'm not gonna wear this headset actually, because I'm gonna wear my coding cap. Not really a coding cap, it's just comfortable. So, all right, we're making a game. We're making a roguelike. Last time, I lost my cool because I was working on a prefab, and drawing the prefab was a headache and a half. This is not the prefab. Drawing the prefab was a headache and a half, and then connecting it to the level was a headache and a half. I woke up this morning, or I went to bed angry and frustrated. I woke up, rested, and I felt a lot better, and the code made a lot more sense. I came back to it and looked at it, and I realized that, I did myself a favor by leaving the code in a working state, because I was able to, run the game, see that, oh, okay, it works, as is, and off stream I turned some of it into functions, and when I did that, suddenly the code made a lot more sense. This was the code. It was originally in here. I moved it into the prefab, I think. I can't remember if I did that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did that on stream. But anyway, this function is over here. Make connection east. We pass in these variables, and then I think I did do that on stream, but this I turned into a function. 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 And when you do that, the game, the code makes a lot more sense. It's a lot easier to read. It's a lot easier to figure out what's going on. And things were a lot cleaner. And it worked. So I actually added a second prefab into the level just to test how it works. I refactored the prefab code because I need to make a lot more prefabs, because I'm thinking that the game is a lot more fun when I add content like that. I shrunk the plant room a little, made it half its size. There were too many plants in that room, so there's only 8 now. And I had little drone hives there and signs as well. I drew a sign art, and it still sucks. I did a lot of debugging of the prefab code, and then as a treat, I added colors to doors and keys using the fruit shader. Just reused. It's the same shader, same logic. And the key now has to match the color of the door to unlock it. So now we can have more than one door on the level, which is something that I only thought of because prefabs are actually kind of cool. It'd be handy to have more than one on a level. Maybe I'm thinking 3 or 4. I also added a bunch of these empty crates as a prop. Not a prop, decoration. That was super easy. I'm gonna find the thing and show it off. There was one little bit that I left for myself to do on stream, because it's something that I noticed. Okay, that's an interesting door placement. That's actually an illegal door placement. I don't know how that door got there. Don't worry about it. It's fine. This is it. I was very, very worried about the worst case scenario for placing the prefabs. Very worried that I would be putting the prefab in the bottom right corner of the map, and there'd be no level over there, and I would just try and connect to a room, and there'd be nothing, and I'd give up. It would just be horrible and terrible. I didn't think about the best case scenario, which is we're literally one tile away from a thing, which results in a lot of strange looking maps. It's playable, it's fine, but we should consider the best case outcome. It did it again? That's unlucky. Yeah, these are green doors now. I thought this is a grove. Let's make the grove doors green. Why not? We'll make the Grove key green as well. That's what I was going to show off. I gave myself a to-do that I'm going to add right now. This is the miracle of functions. If look east right for connection start of walk loc level size. I don't know if that's right, but the power of functions means that should just work, and we should just have amazing level design now, or level gen now. Did I get a weapon? No. I'm thinking I want to make, so I had make a weapon like locker as a prefab. Absolutely need to do that. And I think that's going to be on this level. I think on further levels, okay, this was not an example of that, but that's also an example of the prefab being in the corner of the map. I think we can also have prefabs that are like bad. Like I was thinking like a slime arena as a prefab, and like a robot garage, and I don't know. We got 8 days to envision content for this game before we're out of time. And there's plenty of things to do, but it's just polish. It's just polish. I'm gonna be polishing on stream. I'm gonna be polishing off stream. We're gonna add the currency UI, just a placeholder UI for now. Is it worth doing that? No, it actually isn't worth doing that. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do though is give myself some more level gen tools, like I had planned on doing yesterday. So we're going to make level 2. We're going to score level 2 with a lot of dead end tunnels. And then I'm going to write a function that'll make it easier for me to make spherical rooms. And then I'm going to give myself some grace and stop the stream, because I've like been debugging this prefab stuff for like 4 hours, and there's the key. You know, I don't want to burn out. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like energized by the prospect of getting to add a lot of content to this game. Yeah, okay. This is an example of the tunnel. Like, best case scenario: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was a tunnel right there. We could have just taken that tunnel. So we do. All right. Okay. We need to make an entirely prefab tutorial room. I'm going to make a lot of prefabs, but I'm going to do it off stream. I did create an editor grid. This has no code connection whatsoever. I'm just doing it to help myself figure out exactly where I need to put walls, where I need to put entities. It's just a little helper. It's basically just like drawing on the whiteboard. I'm going to use that to make a lot of prefabs, but I don't think that's very interesting to do on stream. Hey, hi Glitch Tech. Welcome to the stream. I am going to just make a lot of prefabs. Just going to spend like 4 hours this weekend jamming them out, and it'll be great. And then I'm going to add them to levels, and that'll be great too. And because we have different colors of keys, I can have different colored doors. So we need to add a dead end tunnel grid. We need to add round rooms. We need to add the split level strategy. And then I think we're good on level content in terms of strategies. We're not good in terms of prefabs, but so what I envision for this is that we create the rogue floor pattern here. That's fine. And then can we pass in okay, do the floor patterns support us passing in an existing pattern? Like if I make a rogue floor pattern and then I do it again, does it work? Like obviously the second pattern will overwrite the first pattern. I just want to see that in action. What if we do that? Let's implement it twice. Is this cursed? Yes. Will this be cursed? I mean, I guess it hasn't happened yet, so I shouldn't. So, okay, so everything looks normal so far. Everything looks a bit too normal. The rooms are really big, but like, I was expecting craziness. I was expecting turbo jank. Oh, also we have the millstone. This looks normal. Like, what am I missing? I gotta find the terrain scanner and see what lies out there. Because if this works, that makes our job easy. There's the terrain scanner. It's weird how this works. It's weird how well this works. I'm a little concerned now. It's weird. Yeah, like this is what I expect. I expected like tons of that. Like here's a dead end for no reason. The Grove is up there. I don't think I have the key though. Yeah, I don't have the key. I do want to make it so that the door doesn't unlock until you actually touch it. That's a work in progress. All right, this tunnel cut off. Okay, yeah, there's an entire level buried. Okay, so for sure we shouldn't do what I just did specifically, but the concept of like putting a level on top of a level is fine if we do it in a controlled manner. So what we could do is we could implement a second strategy. We could take that second strategy it's not meant to be used on by its own, but it's meant as a supplemental strategy. Oh, I tried naming the key and I failed. Bug to fix. We implement a strategy where pick 10 random points. Draw, or not, I shouldn't say 10. We should pick like 10 to 30 random points. Then walk to the east, draw a tunnel to the east between 10 and 30 units. And then do the same from north to south. And then that's it. Like I just described the entire process. Let's do it. New floor pattern. Before we do that, we need to give ourselves one tool because the existing the existing tunnel generator, excuse me, has a problem. It does not cap the ends of the tunnels. So if I create a tunnel from point A to point B, it'll create walls along the tunnel, but the exits will spill out into the void. And we don't want that. And it should be super easy to fix that. So we're just going to create a static function. Generate dead end tunnel. We're going to want to call this function. Or we're going to want to copy these parameters because we're just going to call the function. Generate tunnel. Oh, I'm sorry. It's already copied. We just need to get rid of that and that and that and that and that. Okay, so we make our tunnel, and then we need to add 6 more walls to cap this tunnel on both ends. We should stipulate that we only want to cap the tunnel if it's not already capped. So, I mean, actually, couldn't we just build that into our base generate tunnel? I feel like we could just do that. Actually, maybe we could just make all our tunnels dead ends. I'm trying to think of a reason why I would want a dead end. Why I wouldn't just fill things with dead end, and I can't think of a reason. So actually, let's just upgrade our generate tunnel function to also dead end the tunnel. So we just need to add to the wall array. So if we're generating a vertical line, we want to pick what we could do is for the start and the end point, pick the top 3 and the bottom 3 adjacent tiles, try and put a wall there. Are we actually checking to make sure that we're not putting a wall over? Yeah, we are. That's what this function does. Okay. So oh, we have the direction. Okay. So if the direction, if we're going vertical, we are going down the y-axis. We're going, the y-axis is positive. So if we're going down, I should do this after the for loop. If direction dot y greater than 0, start for I in -1, 0, 1. If we want to get the start plus dir mapper do I need this for loop? I feel like I don't. Start plus vector 2i x. Sorry, x is I -1 -1. Okay, and then we add to the wall array, and then we set the level. We set the wall. Great. That is what we needed. Now we got to do it for the endpoint. Great. Now we just have to repeat the logic for if the y is less than 0. Then we reverse the logic. Else all right. That does it for vertical. Let's try horizontal now. Why is the horizontal one so much simpler than, oh, it's not. Why is this code so much bigger than this code? Taking the entire tunnel, this code. When do we actually set this to be floor? When does this actually set the floor? Did I goof? I don't understand when I'm setting the floor. enums.tiletype.floor. Does this create? Does this actually paint over does this create the floor? That's my question. I assume it does. If that's the case, then I don't need this set cells terrain connect. I don't need it. Just wall array. Let's just comment it out for now. Let's proceed as if we need it, and then we will go ahead and do this. Okay, the indentation is screwed up because of course it always is. That's the rule. All right, we're going in the X direction. If X is greater than 0, that means we're going to the right. You know, it occurs to me I could have just put direction.x here. And then I don't have to do this twice. Or do I? No, I do. But I think I screwed up here. This is supposed to be negative. No, it's negative, positive, positive, negative. Okay. Okay, so the start point, if we're going to the right, we need to look at the left. Yeah. And then reverse. -1 I. -1 I. -1 I. All right, and that's it. That's it. We can test this function out. We can't test this function out. Actually, we can test this function out to make sure it didn't break anything. We can't test it out to make sure that it works. Do I see any dead-end tunnels? I should not. But if I do... Oh, this feels cursed, but it's not. Well, I mean, it is cursed. Oh no. Very cursed. All right, well. Okay, that's what I was worried about. That should never happen. Let me figure out why that's happening. Let me think. Because it's not happening often. Okay, I definitely need that set terrain connect because that looks jank. And this is weird. Where was this tunnel going? Why is there a tunnel there? I thought maybe there was like there's a tiny room here, but there's just a tunnel to nowhere. Or was this a tunnel that was meant to go up here, but it got cut off by this room? That shouldn't. Oh, we're still doubling the room. Yeah, that's gonna ruin any sort of ability for me to test if we're doing that. Please do not do that. I was like, why is there a dead end here? But that shouldn't happen. Not like that. If we see anything that's even remotely amiss, that's a sign that we screwed up. But if things look flawless, we don't need that connect. Okay, this is the Grove. Okay. It looks normal. Everything looks normal. We can take that as a sign that our code is code. I'm gonna grab that key just to verify that this is in fact as it should be. All right. Now that we've improved our tunneling algorithm, how long did it take you to type codes easy like this? I've been coding for 20 days. This is day 20. Improved generate tunnel function. I typed tunnel twice. Cool. Now we can go back to our floor strategy. Did I create a new one? I should have. Gouge floor pattern. I'm going to call it the gouge. Extends floor. What functions do I need? Well, we got to have the implement pattern function. Oh, and that's it. We just need this. So we take in a level. We take in a level and we take in a working space, rex2i. That's where we're going to that's the area we're going to scour. So I'm thinking we take a third of the level and we scour it. Maybe a sixth? Let's try a sixth. So we're getting past the working space. We know how big it is. Let's just start getting random numbers. So for I in range working space dot x dot size dot x. So let's go ahead and divide that by 6. So we're going to pick a random x coordinate and var random x equals randi range from 1 to working space dot size we do need to get the working space start point. Random size X, random size Y. Abs top left. Okay, that's what I need. I need these. Not here though. I need them higher. right. Okay, now we have the absolute space that we're working in. We need to pick random coordinates within that rectangle. Random x coordinates within that rectangle. Okay. So now we have a random x. I want to get a random y from the top of the rectangle to 1/3 down. Random y1 equals randi range abs top left y abs top left y plus working space dot size dot y divided by 3. So 1/3 of the working space. Is that right? Yeah. And then var random y2 equals randi range. I want to get something from starting from 2/3 down to the bottom right. Okay, now we have our variables. Now we just make a tunnel. Level gen dot generate tunnel level vector to I random x random y1 vector to I random x random y2, and we're done. You want me to return an array of rect to I? I'll just return the working space. I know we're not done. We need to do the y scores, but I'm just gonna... Oh, we need to return an array of working space. My mistake. Now we test this out. We test this out. We test it out on level 1. Oh no. Oh, okay, we should throw away the recs. We should not do this. That's incorrect. Yeah. Because this doesn't generate rectangles. Although it could. It occurs to me, I could just make some rectangles and return them. They'll be very thin rectangles. I should not do that, but I could do it. Why is this? Why do I just see random? Weird. Do these need to be set as like you can't see them. Why do I see these oh, it's because they're out of the level. We goofed. $28.76. That's not out of the level. No, that's not out of the level. That's totally fine. That's still in the level. Why is this like this? I think this is happening because we don't tunnel the commented out stuff in the level gen. We're missing that. Why can we see these tiles? It's like really arbitrary where we can see the tiles too. Oh, okay. Yeah, hey, you know what? Let's say that's not working. All right, and I've seen enough. Why is that not working? Okay, let's go into the rogue floor pattern. No, let's go into the single room pattern and let's look at, are we missing anything? I don't think so. Let's go into the rogue pattern. I don't know. Let's print out what these are. Print making a tunnel at It's debug time. So we made one tunnel at 11.0 to 11.73. That's a big tunnel. I'm scared of that tunnel because if we put a tunnel at 0, we can't cap that tunnel. It's impossible. So where are we right now? 55.6. Let's get to 11. That's a tunnel we can definitely escape. Yeah. Yeah, no, we can't put walls there because it doesn't exist. This is an interesting... I don't hate that. I don't hate these tunnels. Aside from the fact that the graphics are broken, which we can fix easy. We just uncomment the thing we commented. And that the tunnel periodically does that. I'm okay with saying in the gouge floor pattern. Why does this give me a warning? Integer division, okay. +1, -1. -1, -1. I'm okay with doing that just to fix this and moving on. This might be the kind of thing too where we make this a number we can pass in. Because I'm kind of wondering, do I want every level to have some random dead-end tunnels? Before I proceed, let me fix the level gen helper by uncommenting these lines, thus solving the problem once and for all. I really got to put a priority on making a prefab for level 0. Just to help me test. Failed to put plant room down. That's fine because I've scored the level very hard. The connected terrain is broken. This is not right. Oh, I can just look at the generated. Nothing here looks out of place. There is a 75-1 to 75-77. So I want to go to east and find that tunnel. Where are we right now? We're on the opposite side. Oh no. No. I want to live. Gotta find a weapon. Yeah, these tunnels are definitely not correct. Is it just the tips that are broken? No. I feel like the whole tunnel's broken. Could it be that no, I don't know. I feel like it's worse. Can I have some items, please? Not like this. Oh my God. That's probably the tunnel right there. Yeah. The connected the connections are broken, but you know what I should do is before I draw the tunnel, I should verify. Am I going to connect anything if I draw this tunnel? No, that's not necessary. That's not necessary because we're only implementing half the strategy right now. We'll implement the other half and then we'll make a grid and it'll basically, it's almost certain that we'll connect. So don't worry about this being an orphan. It's totally fine. Let's worry about these textures being disconnected. This function was supposed to make that not a problem. Or actually, wait a minute. What? No, this made it, why would this help? Because the down here is when all the terrain is set to connect. So this actually is pointless. So I understand why I made it worse, because I'm calling these tunnels to connect, these walls to connect, but there's nothing to connect to. So like, they're like, oh, could it be these? Like these are redundant? I think those were there before. And I just didn't remove them because, I don't know. That's not necessarily the tunnel, but... Okay, nope, that's not correct. Fortunately, this wall is solid. Why is it not connecting, though? Is it just the tunnels at the ends, though? Because it looks like all other tunnel... Oh, no. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's messed up. So this tunnel is broken, but other tunnels, they're great. Why are a lot of these walls visible? That part confuses me. Why would that be? The walls, okay, so the walls should be getting set to invisible on level init. I believe that's the case. Let me go to level init. We create the visibility handler, and then the visibility handler should go, hey. Right here, tile cord and level.get used cells. That means there's this problem with, we're doing something wrong here. When is implement floor strategy being called? Shoot. Implement floor strategy. It's being called by floor strategies, and floor strategies calls it whenever where's the floor handler? Okay, it's getting called on generate floor. Generate floor, it's called in main and only main. Floor handler, reset level to 0. Level preload instanti. Why am I? Sure, that's fine. Floor handler dot generate floor. Right. Do we ever call level dot init? We don't. So the thing is, because we're doing this that way, we instantiate the level, then we generate a floor. Do we have to hide the tiles? Because init, oh, init doesn't happen until we call it explicitly. So never mind. When do we call it explicitly? Level dot init. Level preload instantiate. Add child floor handler dot level. Level dot redraw visibility input mode. Update UI. Where do we call level dot init? Oh, we commented that out. I mean, how are we getting an A-star grid if we're not calling this function? Is someone else calling this? Func level.init. Oh, it's called in the floor strategy. Okay, so we just need to make sure that we assemble, and we do it way down here. So why is gouging the floor not being taken care of before we hide all the tiles? Doesn't make any sense. Okay. The tunnel is sometimes being asked to generate nothing. That's strange. Should I worry about that? Where did I put the print line? Print wall array. All right, put it at the end. Connecting all the cells. Why does that not add these extra ones that I'm talking about? How are those walls appearing if they're not being set by this function? Floor array.append. Okay. And we're just focused on vertical lines. So why is this not connecting? Doesn't make any sense. Sometimes we get told connect no walls. That's strange. Let's see what we're actually doing. Okay, making a wall array at nowhere and then making a floor array. Why would I do that? Why is this making no walls? Because I'm making a tunnel somewhere that already has tiles. So we can't add walls where there already is a tile. We've configured ourselves to do that. A floor will override a wall, but a wall will not override a floor. This looks good. Okay. Oh, man. Come on. Come on. This looks so good except for that. Except for the end. Why? Why does it just peter out like this? Oh my god. Am I crazy? What am I missing? Let me get that coordinate. This is 3975. 3974. Why is 3975 missing? Oh, this is making a floor array. So this is 3974. Okay, so this, we should see 3975. Yeah, 3875, 3975, 4075. All of the things are being passed to this function. 4015, 3915, 3815, 3871. What? Thirty-eight 16, 40 16, 38 17, 40 17. Okay, it's just creating a really long vertical line. I get it. And those walls are in the right place. Okay, we should be able to walk this entire tunnel. And it looks good up till that point. It looks good up to here. It's consistent. Okay, so these 4 tiles are consistently. Let's see if we can get that, how consistent that is. Yeah, that's there. Yeah. It's consistently missing the last 4 tiles on the north direction, and then on the south direction. Oh, we're missing so many tiles over here. We're missing an entire wall. This feels like a room. What is the difference between set cells terrain path and set cells terrain connect? I could try set cells terrain path for the floor array. And then what if we do this in this order? So place the walls first, and they'll all be wrong because the walls expect floors. But then what if the floor fixes it? The floor is like, hey, buddy, you should have an edge. I don't know. It's working so far. I see a dead end there. It's got the correct. Why does terrain? Yeah, that's correct. Why does terrain connect? Not. Hold on. This one's not right. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely an improvement. Yeah, that works now. Should we just be doing that function? Like, what if I do that here? Okay. Okay, that's wrong. That's very wrong. That's incredibly wrong. That's insanely wrong. That's the most wrong I've ever been. Why do the walls not exist? Okay, for the most part, it works. There was that one gap. I'm concerned about that gap because, like, why? But, this is enough. This is good enough. This is good enough. We can try and hunt down why. Oh no. Okay. This is good enough that we can move on. Damn, I've been streaming for an hour and I haven't even done one thing. I get so distracted. Okay. Let's go to our score. Because we got to do this in the horizontal direction. Y.6. I think I just transpose the y's and the x's and it's fine. If I don't think, I can't be wrong. Oh no. Come on, don't start thinking now. Keep that brain empty. We're almost there. All right, we've blindly done a thing. What's the worst that could happen? Well, it could blow up. But other than that, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, I don't want this anymore. I am happy with the results, even if they're not perfect. Oh no. Thanks, sign. The sign reads, you screwed up. Oh yeah, this is level 2, all right. So this feels like a level. This does not feel like this should be every level, but this definitely feels like a level. Why do I have vision of like a lot of it though? That's wrong. I need to sort that out. But I have no clue why that's happening. Like, I'm trying to think. Because the visibility handler, if the elements aren't added to the level, but they should be, because I'm setting them to the level. Like, I have the level. Here's the level. That's not the thing. Yeah, I'm passing in the level. We're doing this to the level. So why isn't this showing up in the visibility handler? Because we gouge the floor, and then down here, this is when the visibility handler goes, hey, I exist. Let me see what I should hide. Let's go look in the visibility handler and verify that. On init, we get the array size. It's the level size. We resize the grid so that we have space for every tile coordinate in the level that has a cell. If it's on the edge of the map, we break. Otherwise, we set it to tile unseen. So that tells me that there either are tiles missing from here, oh, it's this one. A cell is considered empty if its source identifier equals 1. Its atlas identifier is negative. Okay. I mean, none of that is true. So let's go back. Print tile chord, and that's gonna fill up our output. But you know what? Okay. Oh, it works now? Oh, is that okay? It doesn't work the first time, but it works every other time. That's brilliant. Let's be a non-reproducible build error. Let's be a non-reproducible error. Perfect. No, this is perfect. No, this is exactly, yeah, no. Why would I complain? Yeah, just sometimes the visibility handler's like, I don't know, you can see those tiles. It's a race condition. Why would there be a race condition in Godot? I don't know Godot's inner workings well enough to answer that question. It's like the visibility handler's in a separate thread, and that thread got turbocharged. Maybe something is happening on an optimization level where Godot is like, this function, it'll finish when it finishes. I'm just going to move on. And then the visibility handler's like, okay, I guess it's my turn. And these tunnels don't exist yet because of race condition. And, well, visibility handler isn't there to step in and be like, these tunnels should be hidden, bro. That's my guess. That's my only guess. And the solution is slap whoever wrote that race condition. I don't know what the solution is. Okay, I'm just gonna like make 3 more levels. We're gonna go without the flashlight. Yeah, why is this happening? 62.9? Is 62.9 in this giant array? I don't see it in the array. Yeah, we conveniently stop at 64.4. 64.9. Why is that missing? $62.8. We hit that. 62.11. Oh yeah, we know better. 74.14. Why? 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 Why is it missing? Level.getUseCells gets all the cells. The cells are set by set cell, right? Do we need to await? Is there a thing is there a level signal we need to await for? Does this give any signal? Signal changed. Should we do call deferred? Am I insane? All right, I have an idea to how to test this. What I'm gonna do is go to my visibility handler. Right here, I'm gonna pause. How do I pause execution? Godot pause execution. Like the timeout function. How do I wait? Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this line. If tile chords not equal get level dot get used cells print race condition. What the fuck? I can't do that. I can't do that? What if we just get down to here and I call it again? Okay, this is all over the place. It's just the horizontal tunnels though. What is it? Okay, no, it's the vertical tunnels too. Hold on, did we get a race condition? No. Godot get cells doesn't return all cells. Using the wrong layer, setting a cell to an invalid index, or mismatching tile sizes. Could I be setting them on the wrong layer? I didn't even know that was a thing. Wait. But this isn't a tile map. Tile map, it's not a tile map. Is there a limit to get? Is there a function that I can call to be like, hey, make sure that this is up to date? Update internals. Let's try updating the internals. Maybe we're running into a thing where we need to update the internals. Where are we? Level dot update internals. What? 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 Of course, that didn't fix it, but also it made it worse. What if we just make every tile unseen? What if we just do that? We think we're being cute, we're getting the used cells, and then we're making them unseen. What if we just make every tile unseen? Why would we... Why would we hold ourselves back like this? For, how does this work? Grid. In grid. For X in grid. Dot size. For Y in grid. Dot size. I need to add range to that. Well, every tile is unseen. Why are we holding back? Well, it works. I don't know why, though. I mean, I know why this works. I don't know why the other thing didn't work. I'm just going to leave a note for myself. For some reason, this wasn't returning all the used cells. It was missing the tunnels. Doesn't make sense why. All right. Just to test something out, because I actually do want to test something out before we... I could just move this here because I know it works. Okay, if we go to our floor strategy 1 and we flip these. We do the gouge pattern first, and then we do the rogue floor pattern. Well, that makes no sense. Oh, we can see the whole level except. We can see everything but. Why would that be? So if we implement a pattern, it will get hidden. But if we implement the second pattern, it won't get hidden. Oh, you know what we should do? Put a breakpoint. I'll put it here. When are we calling this? Where's my breakpoint? Why didn't it breakpoint? Okay, A, why didn't it breakpoint? And B, why is it working? Am I insane? Hello? Oh, is it because I put a breakpoint on a comma? Comment? That shouldn't be. Where's my breakpoint? Bruh. Does that mean we're never calling this function? Is that why there's no breakpoint? Here we go. Okay, so we hit the breakpoint here. Oh, wait a minute. This shouldn't be break. This should be continue. This should be continue. I don't know why I'm missing this breakpoint. I shouldn't be, but this should be continue, not break. Break means that we're hitting a coordinate. The reason that we're hitting these gaps is because we're making a tunnel in somewhere we shouldn't be doing. And that's why we can suddenly see a lot of level, not because they're not added to the tile map layer, but because, oh no, no, that's not right. Where are we? We're at 80-20. We shouldn't be putting a tunnel here. Who said we could build a tunnel here? No, that's wrong. You can't do that. Give me this. Did I not put the -1 in the correct? No, it's right there. Do we have to do -2? I hate off by 1 errors so much. What if we just make this -1 -1? Okay, what if we comment this out? So that's solved. This can go back here. This is gonna crash. This better crash. Yes. So we need to never do that. Let's go ahead and make this vect -1 -1. No. We should be able to pass in the floor size, and then the strategy should just make the appropriate allowances. So what if +1 +1? We don't need to adjust that. We're already making that allowance. But let's take this allowance -1 and -1. Okay. Everything should be good, even though we have no exception checking. We have no null check. Let's do like 3 more. Oh my god, I need to fix that bug. Yeah, this is correct. This is correct. That was a weird bug. Because I had a break instead of a continue. And the only reason I even had that line there was because I was putting tiles out of bounds and it was causing my game to crash. And I was like, instead of just don't put tiles out of bounds, I'm like, I can't not do that. So I better put a check here to make sure that if I do that, it doesn't break the game. And then it was breaking the game. Okay. What a dumb. What a dumb. Okay, so I think the strategy works. I'm not seeing any reason that we can't just say, yeah, we did it. Good job, us. Why is there a door there? Don't worry about it. We're going to take this strategy. We're not going to put it on room 1. We might put it on room 1, actually. I'm not opposed to setting this up so that when we init it, func, okay, var, density is an int. Func init density equals dense param. Could not find type init in the current scope. Yeah, you're right. All right, and then instead of this, we can just make this a default 6. Then we can pass in a density of like 2. I actually think a density of 12 is pretty interesting. So we'll leave that in level 1, but I want to take this, put it in level 2, make that dense param. I don't have a working space? Oh. And the order of this shouldn't matter. I was only doing that to test. Why is level 2 and level 1 the same size? We'll work on that. We'll work on that. I would like these to look the same though. It's good for my sanity. Okay. Let's go to level 2 and see what that looks like. Failed to put a plant room down. That's unusual. I turned the density down, so it should have found a spot. Does turning the density down make it more dense? It shouldn't, because we're dividing. We're dividing by 12. There's so many tunnels. 80 divided by 12 is... I'm trying to do math. My brain is almost getting it, and then it's dropping the final output. 80, okay, 12 times 5 is 60, 72. So it should be between 7 and 8. So we should have 7 or 8 tunnels. And it feels like we have a lot more than that. There's an easy way to check what we're actually getting in terms of density. X loop. If there's more than 8, that is more than 8. There's something wrong here with this function. We take the size and we divide it by density. This isn't like... I gotta put this outside the loop or I'm gonna hate myself. I don't see the error. It does occur to me that having density going up, making it less dense, is going to confuse me. Maybe I should call this sparsity. That's not how you spell sparsity, but I already committed to it. Let me just grab that, and then we'll see once and for all what we're actually getting. $26. Wait, why is it 3? It shouldn't be 3, it should be 12. Did I? Oh, because I copy and pasted it to right. Ah. Ah, get on that petard and get hoisted. Okay, we should have 6 or 7 tunnels in both directions, or in each direction, not both. It's kind of busted, but whatever. I think this is too many tunnels. Maybe I should make it like 25 or 27 or something. Because I want this to feel like distinctly more tunnely. And it doesn't. But that's just a case of like, let's make it 40. I want this level to feel cohesive so that level 2 stands out as tunnely. Okay, I mean, this feels okay. I would not accuse this of being tunnely. Okay, we got the grove, and we're just gonna leave. Okay, now how does this feel comparatively? I mean, yeah, no, this is definitely standing out as different. We'll work on it, but I think there's promise here. I wouldn't say this is good. I need to add in a lot more. What's the word? This is all dead space, so I need to fill it. I would not say this is quality map making. But I think like just adding some signs to the tunnels and adding a few prefabs, maybe adding some paths. I do want to add a path to decorate. We can put down some tunnels, put some paths down them that lead to like the exit so you don't get too lost. Or a path, yeah, because you could easily get lost down here. Or a path that leads to a prefab. If we go make path from, I don't know, center of the map to prefab of my choice. Something that's a bit more of a landmark than chaotic morass. Oh, didn't I get a better weapon? Oh yeah, I did. I spaced out. Why am I playing this? I don't have time for that. I'm almost out of time. I need to add more stuff. That was just this, the dead end tunnel grid. Round rooms. I think the way I want to do that is I just want my my level gen helper. When I place a room down, I want to overwrite the walls, but not the floors. So if I generate room, should I hold on? Just real quick. Do I take this and propagate it? Should I do that even though nothing is broken right now? Is this a mistake? Am I about to break something incredible? Well, shit. My level's missing. It's just gone. Like, it's like there's no... Hello? All right, well, I'm really glad that I didn't... I have no understanding of why that happened. Yeah, okay, this is fine. So, hey, we just need to make sure that when we're placing a wall, we're not placing it over a floor. And then what we can do is we can spam this function to generate different shapes. Like we can generate a plus sign by making a skinny long room in this direction and then one in this direction. We can make like an H if we do like one of these. We can make a circle by making a really skinny room like this and then making one bigger and one shorter this way, and then we keep doing that. We make like, I don't know, a dozen snapshots of that, and that'll make a round room. Oh, we have... Let's make sure this is a void tile. I can't be bothered to remember this function, so I'm just going to copy it. This is vector 2i xy. All right, and we're done. I should check this stuff in. New gouge floor pattern makes dead end tunnels all over the map. Now to make a fun shape, all we have to do is stack 2 square rooms on top of each other. It's not a perfect circle, but what is? What else did I have? Split level. And then that's kind of it. The rest is just recursively repeating the stuff I have. Do I have time to implement? I could implement around rooms and then stop. I think that's maybe what it'll be. Yeah. So we'll go over here. We got our single room pattern. We need to make single round room pattern. Okay, and then we need to think, if we're given a space, we're going to generate a random room in that space. I would like to make, let's just try stacking 3 rooms on top of each other. So we actually want to give ourselves a little extra clearance. So we're getting a random size for the room. That I don't think we need to mess with. No, we do. We need to make this one smaller. And then we pick a possible X and we give ourselves a little extra clearance. And then we take this and then we generate a room. I think we want this one to be +1 and that one to be -1. Or do I have that backwards? So we've got a room. I want to generate another room that's 1 taller and 1 skinnier. So +1 here and then -1 here. But +1 and +1. No, -1. No, wait. -1 +1. And then we reverse the signals. The signals, the signs. And what do you know? Magically, that gives us exactly what we ask for. As a computer always does. The computer never not gives you what you asked for. Does that result in problems sometimes? Let's find out. That's a round room. That's a round room. That's a dead end. That's okay. Maybe I should increase the number of doors. If I'm increasing the number of tunnels, I should increase the number of doors. Because there definitely feels something off about this level gen. But I can't. It could just be there's just a lack of cohesion in the vision of this level as a result of procedural generation being completely random and having no vision. That could be the reason that it feels like this level has no vision. So we can offset that by going way too hard. Anyway, I don't know why this works. We don't need to commit that to the rogue floor pattern. What was the last thing I was doing? Split level. That one's easy. Let's just knock that one out real quick, and then I'm done. I will stop the stream. I haven't drunk my water. What do I name this? Split floor pattern? Okay. The strategy is we're going to make our map more interesting by implementing two separate patterns, putting them one on the left, one on the right, or one on the top, one on the bottom. We're going to leave it up to the pattern to decide. Class name split floor pattern extends floor pattern, implement the function that I'm missing. We're going to have an init. 100% going to have an init. It occurs to me that this has a problem with the ret. Actually, I think this is fine. I just jumped to this, interrupting my thought. I got a signal that said, hey, this return that I'm returning is not the full level. That means that the edge of the map, the edge of the room is not going to have anything put in it. That's actually fine. I am actually good with that. I should probably change the single room pattern to do that as well. I could return like rect2i, all of these -1. Okay, anyway. Thought have the rect2i's in the single room pattern / rogue room return smaller by 1, maybe. That means that if a room is only the size of 2, then it'll get shrunk down to 0, and then no items will spawn in there. And I don't like that, but alternative thought, because we have a problem where we're putting like things next to each other, and it potentially puts props in a way that blocks the player from progressing. So we could just put a rule that says do not put props next to each other. And we could put a rule that says do not put items on props. We can fix this without messing with our rectangles. Anyway, back to this. We simply func pattern 1 is a floor pattern, where pattern 2 is a floor pattern. Func init takes in pattern 1 param. It's a floor pattern. And what do you know? Pattern 2. The legend was true. There it is. Okay, and then we simply do the boilerplate. Code's so simple, I trust AI to write it. Now I'm gonna just take the rogue pattern because it's just recursive. We get a divider. Let me just copy this whole thing. Okay, we'll set ourselves up. If the working space is less than, I don't know. Yeah, 11 is fine. We divide this by 2. So actually, I don't want a divider like this. I want to first decide their vertical or horizontal. Rand, is there a rand boolean? What does rand I return? A random unsigned 32-bit integer. Okay. Is there, okay. I know I know how to get a Boolean from this, but I just want to ask, is there an easy way to get a Boolean from this? Get random Boolean. Wow, why am I getting, okay. Rand B. Oh no, there isn't, no. Call rand I and then cast it to a Boolean. All right, that's fine. I was hoping for something simpler. That's not how you cast. This is how you cast. You're a Boolean now. That's how you cast in C. How do you cast in... Okay. Does that work? Does that work? No, that's probably going to crash. Godot cast int as... Oh, wait. This is actually just telling me how to do it. Oh, I had it backwards. Oh, that's why it was not working. Yeah. You're a Boolean. All right. If we're going vertical, if we're splitting vertical... then if vertical split, then let's get variable y split y equals, let's get the midpoint. Makes sense to me. Working space dot size. I know what to do. I'm just out of brain power. And I promised myself I would stop. Maybe I should just stop. To do this entire function. Because I know at this point, any code I write is going to be very suspect. And I don't want to just like push myself to implement this function, which is should be a pretty easy function. All we're doing is we're splitting the map into two. We're going to split the rectangle, and then we're going to recursively call the patterns that we actually want. We're either going to call rogue floor pattern on the left. We can call single room pattern on the right. We don't actually have any other patterns. We're going to need big rogue floor pattern, and then I had planned at some point in implementing like a cellular automata pattern, but I didn't do it. And then I also planned on at some point implementing, what is it called? I can't remember. It's fine. There were 3 patterns, and then that would be enough level gen. All right. Well, I can only get so fancy with the level gen and expect that to pay off because, like, math isn't what makes the game fun, and the level gen it's merely a wrapper for the game experience. So I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. I need to spend the rest of this jam making content. We need to make prefabs. We need to fix bugs. We need to polish. We need to add animations. We need to all of the things that I've written here. I need to hunt. I need to spend like several days just hunting down sound effects and sticking them in wherever I can. There's going to be a lot of missing sound effects. I need to add. I still have like vending machines to add. We've added currency, but we haven't like added currency. Like there's no number goes up. So, and there's no way to spend the money. I think I fixed this. I want to fix exits. The play experience for this game needs polish. I need to add the debuff icons. That's actually important. And the beam function. and the cause of death. We added mob spawners. So actually, go us. That's done too. Once the game is polished, whatever the level math tricks we come up with aren't going to matter as much. This is just we just want to get the bare minimum. That's all. So I don't want to get too deep into this. Next time, tomorrow, I'm going to finish this. I guess we'll make these two. And then we're just going to be content jamming. I don't plan on it being a long stream because I'm going to spend a lot of time doing art off stream and designing and just like planning out what needs to be polished. And then, coming up with a plan for implementing it. When I have that, I'll stream. So I don't know when I'm going to stream tomorrow, but that's the plan. And then for the remainder of the game jam, we're just looking for what sucks in this experience. Obviously, the title screen needs to be less this. The options button needs to work. The music is broken. I'm not. That's why you can't hear it, because I'm not like setting it up. I'm gonna need to make a lot of prefabs, because I think that's the backbone for what is making the level interesting, is the prefabs. Actually, like the random stuff is whatever. That's the homage to Rogue. This level gen is an homage to Rogue. But it's not like we can do better. It's not the pinnacle of roguelike level gen. In fact, it might be like pretty dated. We can do better. All right, I'm spacing out. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you had a good time. Hope you all are making games too. I hope everyone is making a game. If you're not in the game jam, you can still make a game. Make something simple. Make something quick. Have fun. See you all later.